is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right?
Very.
So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Oregon is headed to the Super Regional. Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
What a weekend it was around Oregon athletics and the athletic sphere. Oregon men's basketball closed out the regular season with a tight, gritty overtime victory up north against Washington in Seattle. Oregon baseball was down in Los Angeles, down in Irvine, California, playing against USC and got a series sweep to start off Big Ten Conference play over the Trojans and carry an 11-game win streak into the midweeks coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. And Oregon softball at the Jane Sanders Classic beat a top 10 Florida State team not once, but twice over the weekend. It was a really strong weekend around Oregon athletics across the board. I feel like it was all started by lacrosse and their comeback against San Diego State on Thursday, and that momentum was carried throughout the entirety of the athletic department all the way until, well, right now, Oregon softball just closed up their Jane Sanders Classic with a 22-4 victory over Abilene Christian. We're breaking all that down today on Duck Insider, but also tremendous news. Oregon women's basketball legends are returning to Eugene. Announced earlier today, May 12th, at 7 p.m., the New York Liberty will play the Toyota Antelopes of the Women's Japan Basketball League as Sabrina Ionescu and Niara Sabally will come back to play at Matthew Knight Arena. That's absolutely huge. Really excited to get to see two Oregon legends back at MKA in front of the Oregon fans. Pre-sale tickets for this event will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. and then public sale will begin on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can get the tickets on Ticketmaster. You can go and find it on GoDucks.com. Rob Mullins, he said, we're thrilled to welcome two all-time great Ducks in Sabrina and Niara back to Eugene as members of the reigning WNBA champions in another showcase women's basketball event. We're very excited to host the New York Liberty and Toyota Antelopes in Matthew Knight Arena. The vision for the event includes a tremendous weekend of activities around the community, so expect more information to come. Our passionate fans will create a terrific atmosphere inside MKA for these elite women's basketball players. Special thanks to the Liberty and Antelopes for their collaboration in creating this wonderful opportunity in our community. Sabrina Ionescu, Niara Sabally back. Sabrina said, I can't wait to get back on the court in Eugene with the New York Liberty at Matthew Knight Arena. I've got some great things in store throughout the weekend for my teammates, past and present, Oregon women's basketball fans, the Eugene community, and the SI-20 Foundation. Go Ducks forever. Niara Sabally said, I'm super excited to have this preseason game in Eugene. I never thought I was going to be able to play on that court and in front of our amazing Duck fans again. I know Oregon is going to show out and it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. Really excited that this was announced, getting Oregon women's basketball stars Sabrina Ionescu, Niara Sabally back to Eugene on May 12th as members of the New York Liberty. Pre-sale starts tomorrow 9 a.m. Public sale starts on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Make sure to get your tickets. I have a feeling they will be tough tickets to come by at Matthew Knight Arena on May 12th. On Saturday, Oregon men's basketball closed up their regular season against Washington, and it was a tight battle back and forth. Oregon got an early lead against the Huskies, but Washington clawed back, and despite going into the locker room at halftime with a 3-point deficit, Washington was able to tie it up and send it to overtime. but Oregon outlasted the Huskies in overtime, an 80-73 victory for the Ducks over Washington, led by a tremendous performance by Nate Biddle. 36 points and 12 rebounds for Nate Biddle. He also had 2 blocks and 2 assists in the ballgame. A huge career-high double-double for Nate Biddle. KJ Evans also had a double-double with 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks of his own. Those 2 bigs for Oregon really made the difference down the stretch, as now Oregon is concluded through the regular season and takes a 7-game win streak into the Big Ten tournament. It was not the cleanest game for Oregon men's basketball. The Ducks were up early, let Washington claw back, a lot of turnovers, especially down the stretch, a few missed free throws, things that Oregon has to work on. But the Ducks, they didn't shoot it well. They turned the ball over too much. They didn't convert at the free throw line. And despite all of that, Oregon was able to get a gritty rivalry win against Washington to close out the regular season. Coach Dana Altman caught up with Joey Mack after the game. His thoughts on Oregon's regular season finale win against the Huskies.
And, well, Coach, I was going through the individual numbers, and, hey, you just got to find a way to win down the stretch, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Nate did an unbelievable job. What a performance. KJ was he good? Those 2 guys gave us some separation there and did a tremendous job. So, again, I thought TJ did some good things defensively. A little disappointed offensively. His turnovers, he just, tried to make too much happen and really bad turnovers. So his turnovers almost cost us, just some really bad possessions. We were moving that ball so good early, and I thought we had a feel, and then we just took some bad shots and guys trying to penetrate against a set defense and really bad turnovers.
You did get to 16 assists. That was the number we talked about.
No, that's it's 11-0 when we get to that number. We had to have overtime to do it, but no, our ball movement wasn't what it should have been. And then we didn't shoot it very good. But you're going to have nights like that, and told guys you got to find a way on nights it's not going in the hole.
Well, how about Nate, Coach? I mean, just some more thoughts on him. An impressive individual performance. That's a lot of points in the first half, a lot of points in a game.
But he was unbelievable. I mean, we played through him. He tried to make the right basketball play all the time. Defensively, he got us a couple blocks and, got the middle blocked in there a little bit. So, no, I don't know if we've had a performance like that. He's pretty proud of his Nate Biddle self, but no, he played really good, really good.
You touched on KJ a bit there in your first thought, Coach, but just when he gives you some minutes like that, it can really add some depth, can it?
But he got 11 rebounds. He has been rebounding the last 7 games so good, and it's just changed his whole approach. And so, man, just knock on wood, we just need him to continue to rebound the ball and give us that extra.
And some momentum now, heading into postseason. It's here.
Yeah, no, it's here. We got a big game against Indiana on Thursday, and we'll just have to get ready to go.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time.
All righty. Thanks.
That's Coach Altman breaking down the game after the win against Washington. It took overtime to do it, but still the 7th consecutive W for Oregon. That interview brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Nate Biddle, his 36 and 12, the only player, well, him and Luke Jackson, the only 2 players for Oregon that have done that since the 1996-1997 season. It was a really strong stat line to close the regular season for Nate Biddle. He got to catch up with Joey Mack after the game.
All right, so I'm going to give you some numbers, okay, Nate? So, dear, grab that mic. Okay, so the last guy to score that many points in a first half was named Peyton Pritchard. Yep. He did it at Arizona. And then the last guy that scored this many points total in a game was when Jermaine went nuts in the NCAA tournament. I mean, you hear names like that, Nate. You played with those guys. Yeah. Now you're in that conversation. Just how proud are you right now of the individual performance, but also just the team finding a way to win?
Yeah. I'm really proud. I put a lot of work in, and especially coming from last season when I wasn't playing a lot. I was working all summer into this preseason and just continuing to put in work. And my teammates are doing a great job. We're starting to play as a team again after that losing streak. And we're starting to find, who's rolling, keep them rolling. And, my teammates were finding me in the right spots tonight. But, no, it was a good overall team win.
The momentum that you have right now, Nate, put it into words for fans. You've won 7 straight. How have you done it?
Yeah, we're starting to play better defense. It kind of fell apart a little bit. Turnovers hurt us tonight. But, as long as we stay connected on the defensive end, we'll like our outcomes.
12 rebounds for you. And then 11 for KJ. How big of a deal is that? Both of you guys had double-doubles today.
Yeah, it's really big. Coach always emphasizes we need a rebound. If we beat them on the boards, we like our chances. There's like a stat out there since Altman has been here that the win percentage is almost like 90%.
It's over 90%.
Over 90%, yeah. And we out-rebound other teams since he's been here. So, that's just the formula of winning.
Yeah. Momentum heading into postseason. I mean, how you guys feeling right now?
Feeling great. We're going to go home tonight. We got some stuff we got to get done tomorrow, but everybody's feeling good and we're ready to keep this thing rocking.
It feels good to beat the Huskies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does.
Nate Biddle, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate
it.
Always feels good to beat the Huskies. Nate Biddle, a huge reason why. 36 points, 12 rebounds, 23 combined rebounds between him and KJ Evans. 43 rebounds for the team for Oregon. They out-rebound Washington 43-28. I thought that was a big difference in the ballgame for Oregon when the Ducks didn't shoot particularly well from deep, just 29%. They shot decent from the field at 49%, but it wasn't the smoothest offensive day for Oregon. The defense, the gritty hustle stuff, that's what got Oregon in front and kept them in control in overtime against Washington. An 80-73 victory against the Huskies moves Oregon now from the regular season into the postseason. Dana Altman breaking down what's in front of the Ducks as they move into Big Ten tournament play when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday, breaking down first Oregon men's basketball and their strong close to the regular season. The Ducks have won 7 straight games and are playing well at the right time. We say it a lot. Something about Dana Altman after Valentine's Day, something about Dana Altman when you get into the month of March is one more than any other team Oregon has since Dana Altman has taken over as the head coach of the Ducks in the month of March. The Ducks have won 7 straight, headed into postseason play. The Big Ten tournament coming up this week. Oregon will play Indiana in game number 1 of the Big Ten tournament. It's the 8-seeded Ducks, the 9-seeded Indiana Hoosiers. It's the early game on Thursday for Oregon men's basketball in Indianapolis. A 9 a.m. tip-off in Indianapolis, an 8:30 pregame show on Thursday morning with Joey Mack on the road in front of postseason play for Oregon men's basketball. The Ducks, they're playing well at the right time, but there's still a lot of things to improve on as the Ducks enter in through postseason play. Earlier this morning, Dana Altman, he talked with the media, breaking down a little bit more of what happened up in Seattle against Washington, and also looking ahead to this Big Ten tournament field that the Ducks will step into. Dana Altman talking with the media earlier this morning.
What do you like about your team going into postseason play now?
They're finding ways to win games, which is always important. We just turned the ball over way too much yesterday, trying to make plays that weren't there. So that was really disappointing. But KJ's playing really well, really gave us a big lift the last 6, 7, 8 games. Been tremendous. Nate's playing really good. We didn't shoot the ball well yesterday, but that's going to happen. So a lot of pluses, some negatives that we can get corrected, I think. But it's just going to take a tremendous effort trying to win 4 games. But the only one that really matters right now is Indiana, Thursday at noon.
Is there a benefit to playing Indiana so soon after playing them last week?
Oh, I don't know. I guess the scouting report, the guys should have a feel for right away. But other than that, they have the same scenario. So be a little different, be on a neutral court, and be in their backyard. So be a different game. But, if we play well, I think it'll be a good game.
What has shifted for KJ over the last several weeks, Dan, and how different a player is he today than either earlier in the season or than the freshman who had trouble with the inbound in the second round of the tournament?
I don't know what clicked, but he's been going after boards, and it's got him involved in the game. You look at his rebounding numbers, and it's just, instead of standing back watching, he's involved. And in my personal opinion, I thought he played harder yesterday than what he's played in the past, and his motor was better. And but I think it's just going after the boards. He had 11 rebounds yesterday, but he's had 7, 8 different games. He's really rebounding the ball. And I think it's just got him involved. And defensively, he was more active yesterday. So not just on the boards, but his overall game has really been good. And I think it's just him being involved and going to the boards hard has got him involved in the game, and it's really changed. But yesterday, was what he's been hoping for, what we've been hoping for, really involved in the game, making big plays, the big offensive rebound putback that he got. He made a lot of plays.
Does this remind you at all, or have you been showing him tape perhaps? Because a lot of people are going to make that comparison to the end of the 18-19 year and how you guys clicked there late. But anything from either what Kenny or Francis did years ago there at that stretch? Kenny was already a productive guy, but Francis was a freshman.
Not really. It's every year's different. Every group's different. But, KJ, we always knew it's there, and he knows it's there. It's just a matter of him going after that ball and being aggressive and like I said, being involved in the game, not standing back watching it. And these last 6-7 games, he's been really important in our winning streak. No doubt about it. He's been a big key.
What do you make of the potential him and Nate have down low defensively? Because Nate's blocking 2 a game, and the last 8, Kwame's getting over 1 a game now.
No, that gives us a big, and they're both long and have good timing. KJ does a nice job coming from the weak side and getting one every now and then. Nate contests a lot more shots, obviously, with his length and his positioning, but it does create problems for people getting to the rim when those 2 guys are real active.
What do you think about how Jackson's playing heading into the postseason?
I'm sorry?
How Jackson's playing just going into the postseason?
He's playing okay. He puts too much emphasis on his offensive game like a lot of players do. If he misses a few shots, we can live with that. His efficiency over the years has been good. You're not going to shoot it good every night. You make up for it in other areas. And so, no, he didn't shoot it well yesterday, but he did some good things defensively. And, I thought he got, like a lot of our guys, we got a little too loose with the ball yesterday. I mean, 21-6 points off turnovers, dang near cost us the game. Well, it would have if we wouldn't have snuck it out. So, we all got to tighten our handles a little bit there. We had too many turnovers and too many of them self-inflicted wounds.
What do you make of Jadrian's defense and ability to come in when Bomber fouled out, and the defense you get from Jadrian as well?
He does a good job. He sometimes gets out of position like a lot of players, but on the ball, he's doing a great job. And his activity has really picked up over the year. So I thought he's improved his defense. And I think a lot of that is TJ setting the tone. I think he's watched TJ and practiced against him. And Raheem and him, both give us a good defensive presence when they're in there.
You need to get a rematch with somebody, before you played Indiana, there was a distinct possibility, but thoughts on playing them again 9 days later, and what can you do to adjust to either Galway on the threes or Fowler's just a handful inside?
I don't know if there's that many things we'll adjust. We just got to do a better job with the scouting report. I thought we made some mistakes there first time around that they took advantage of. I think our ball movement needs to get better against their defense because they do stack it up pretty good. Both teams, I think will be aggressive. So we're going to throw it inside. They're going to throw it inside. It might boil down to who hits more threes. We didn't shoot it particularly well. They didn't shoot it particularly well. So it should be a good game. 2 teams that I think talent-wise are pretty matched up pretty evenly. So it's just a matter of who executes better and who makes the fewest mistakes.
It's hard to prepare for, I suppose, Dan, but it's different where when it was Vegas, it was neutral. Yeah, certain fan bases traveled a certain kind of way, but it was truly neutral. There wasn't a home school there. But here, this is not going to be very neutral for you at all. And then, yeah, it's an Indiana crowd combined with, if you win, Michigan crowd's going to be coming down, Michigan State crowd. What is the difference that you're anticipating of this first Big Ten tournament and being in Indianapolis and the crazy state that it is for basketball?
Oh, it will be different. It's a little further trip, but tournaments are tournaments. We got to get ready for the NCAA tournament. That'll be, could be a scenario just like that. So, heck, we're in the conference. We're 6-4 at home, 6-4 on the road. I mean, our guys have done all right on the road, but it will be a different atmosphere, similar to playing Utah or Arizona the people who could drive into Vegas had a big advantage over the teams that had to fly all their fans in. So But it's tournament play. It will be a different crowd, but the guy's just going to have to handle it.
You guys left over from that tournament run last year at the Pac-12 tournament. Do you think that experience helps going into this tournament?
Doesn't hurt. I'm not sure if it helps or not, but I know it doesn't hurt us. Guys are used to playing in some tournaments. Jackson and Bam played. KJ, they all got some. Key was hurt, but some guys got some experience, and so I'm not sure it's going to help us because it's a different atmosphere, a different environment, but it surely won't hurt us.
Is there anything specific that's motivating this team right now, or like you mentioned, is it just clicking at the right time for some guys when you need it to?
There's no magical wand or anything that has got them playing well. They're good guys. They like each other. They're playing hard together. We're playing through mistakes, which at this time of year we probably shouldn't be making so many. But no, I think they just want to continue playing well, want their season to continue. They know we got a tough draw in the tournament, playing Indiana, and if we're fortunate enough to win that, the number 1 seed who's playing really good. So we just go swing away and try to make something happen, and hopefully we'll get in the NCAA tournament, swing away and make something happen there. It's just kind of take one at a time and play as hard as you can, and then get ready for the next one.
They keep adjusting some of the net calculations and other metrics and stuff. You can't control it, so I'm sure you're not racking your brain with everything. But do you understand some of these newer things, like wins above bubble this year, which is a new number? Because that's very favorable for you guys. And probably
well, the results-oriented metrics are really in our favor, and the predictive ones aren't because we don't beat people badly. We've had a lot of close games, and to get those predictive ones, you need to pound people, and which that's probably a debate for a different day. But whatever, it's all about matchups. I've told our guys when we've been 12 seeds, it doesn't matter. We've gone to 2 Sweet 16s with 12 seeds. It doesn't matter. You're going to play a good basketball team, and you just got to get ready for it. So whatever our predicament is, we'll try to make the best of it. Hopefully we get Seattle or Denver. I think those are the 2 closest. That would be nice, but other than that, whatever happens, and we'll go try to make the best of it.
You talk about winning 4 games in 4 days. You often need to get some contributions from guys who maybe don't play a lot because you need your depth. What do you make of just Mookie and Jamari, and I guess Raheem's playing a little bit more now, but just their ability to stay ready?
They've been great. Attitudes have been great. They've practices, shoot-arounds. They've stayed attentive, which is hard to do. So I've been very, very pleased with all those guys. Sasha, they've shown a tremendous amount of character, and that's not always the case. When you do this, you've been around 45 different teams, and then 4 as a player. You see how different teams respond to different guys. It's not easy. Going 6 months every day to practice and working in the summer, and you don't get the opportunity that you want. It's tough. And so you got to fight adversity, and you got to stay and hope you like your teammates. But those guys have been tremendous. They've showed a lot of character, which hasn't always been the case in my 45 years of doing this. So very pleased, and I think it's one of the reasons. It's always a reason. If you finish strong, I've always said we're all in this boat, we're all rowing, and if we're all rowing in the same direction, it's pretty good. And if somebody stops rowing, we can survive that. But if somebody starts going the opposite way, you're taking yourself out and somebody else. And fortunately, our guys got enough character that nobody's rowing the wrong way. And so it's kept everybody moving the right direction. And those guys are a big part of that. Like I said, anybody can upset. You got a small group, like, we got 17 guys. Somebody not all in, it's pretty easy to notice. Not like a football team where you got 100 guys and you might miss a guy or two. You got the same guys come to the gym every day, and you talk to each one of them, you see each one of them. It can have a drastic effect on a team.
Get this one out of the way, Dana, because it seems like an annual rite of passage, and rather than waiting for the tournament play to do this during games. The national guys seem to want to write your epitaph and are rushing you out right into the sunset. For your retirement. So
I don't know why. I guess they're tired of me like you guys are. Fortunately, my wife has put up with me for a long time, but I'm not retiring. If the school, if Rob and the president, if they decide it's my time, it's my time. But guys, I love coming to work every day. So as long as I'm healthy and my family's healthy, I'd like to coach. But like I said, maybe they know something I don't.
one of these years they'll be right. I don't know. 10, 20, but sooner or later they're just going to say you and Rick Barnes every year.
Do I act that old? I'm not that old. Shoot, 66 isn't that old, right? No, I have absolutely no intentions of retiring. So I'm not sure how all that got started last year, but I've never talked to anybody about that. And every time somebody's asked me, I don't plan on it. Unless somebody tells me it's time to quit, then I plan on going. So.
A spry Dana Altman, looking forward to, next year, but most importantly, coming up this season, the Big Ten tournament starting on Thursday, 9 o'clock in the morning against Indiana. Joey Mack will have pregame at 8:30 in the morning from Indianapolis in the Big Ten tournament. And Oregon men's basketball now entering into postseason play, back inside the top 25. The Ducks in the AP poll that was released this morning at number 23 in the AP poll, starting to ascend at the right time for Oregon men's basketball. Oregon softball, their ascension started early and it has continued at the Jane throughout the weekend, breaking down what has been a really tremendous week of work at Jane Sanders Stadium when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday, breaking down what was a really strong weekend at Jane Sanders Stadium for Oregon softball. You heard Missy Lombardi on the show last week saying that this was an important weekend and the Jane needed to be a lion's den for an opponent. And Florida State came into town and Oregon made it a lion's den. The Ducks on Friday took down a top 10 team in Florida State 2-0 behind a stellar complete game shutout, one-hit complete game shutout by Lindsey Grine in Game 1 against Florida State. Brazy Rosa drove in the only runs of the game with a 2-run home run in that one. Then on Saturday, Oregon went up against Oregon State, carrying the momentum. The Ducks couldn't capitalize on it. Oregon lost to Oregon State 5-2, but then played Florida State again and bounced back again. On Sunday, in Game 1 of a doubleheader, Oregon beat Florida State 1-0. Elise Sokolsky also threw a complete game shutout. This one a 2-hit complete game shutout. No walks, 5 strikeouts for Elise Sokolsky. Oregon then beat Abilene Christian in the second game of the doubleheader on Sunday. They just wrapped up against Abilene Christian today and won 22-4 against ACU, in which Oregon was 1 run shy of tying their program record for most runs scored in a single game. Across the weekend, some really strong results. We'll have Missy Lombardi on the show tomorrow, but she also yesterday, after the doubleheader, we don't have post-game media from the game that just went final, but after the doubleheader, Missy Lombardi against Florida State, a 1-0 victory on Sunday after a 2-0 victory against Florida State on Friday, and a win against Abilene Christian. A really strong whole body of work weekend for Missy Lombardi's crew. This was her thoughts after the Sunday doubleheader yesterday.
You said you were excited to see the group come back out today after yesterday. Just see everything you were hoping to, and anything surprise you at all in that regard?
Yeah, I think kind of like what Lindsay was saying, nobody wants to lose, but to me, if we can grow from it and learn from it, and it can add to what's next on the next day, that's just kind of part of it. So to me, what I was really anxious to see, not anxious, but just I wanted to see how they were going to respond today. You know, we've been going on the streak and just kind of taking care of our business, so not getting what we wanted, how do we respond? And I thought they responded great.
In terms of 2 pitchers between Lindsay and what Elise did against Florida State, have you seen 2 better outings against a top 10 team from your pitchers?
I thought they both shoved all day, so just really, really proud of them. Loved, I just really like what they're doing with their, how they're attacking hitters and understanding their game plans. You know, you see them out there physically do it, but just the amount of time that they take with video and understanding like how they want to go about it and executing it. I was just really impressed with their execution and their command today.
Abby was making her first start at first today. Can you just talk about what the decision-making process was and how you thought she did today?
Yeah, with Abby, she's been working hard. She's been working really hard, and we just thought today was the day for her. So I thought she handled it well. You see she's got a nice, big, tall frame over there. So I really like what she did, and I was excited for her.
It's one thing to talk about kind of staying ready for when an opportunity presents itself, but it's another thing to actually come through the way Bracy has. Biggest keys, I mean, I'm sure you have confidence in all your players, but I mean, would you have foreseen this kind of impact against this quality of opponent for her this quickly into a bigger role?
Yes, and the reason why is because I see it at practice. I think Bracy could be a little deceiving. Like, Bracy is strong. She's probably one of our strongest athletes, so we know that if she connects, the ball's going to go. I see what she does behind the plate, how strong her arm is. I mean, we're blessed with our in the catching department. So we're really blessed. And just, for us, unfortunately, we've gotten dinged up a little bit, and it's next man up. And I think they've all done a good job of responding to that. And that's the only way you can go about it. It's just part of it.
With the issue that's keeping Riley out right now, she played on Friday night. Was that something that came up in that game or after that?
Just, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird little thing that occurred. And so right now we just got to see what's next for her. And so the best thing for us to do is not play her.
I was saying to Elise, Missy, when the composition of the team is so different than even a year ago. But you still had players a year ago who, like Ariel was here during COVID season and stuff back to 21. There are statistical accomplishments that you're doing right now that past teams may have thought about more going in because they have been through the ups, the downs, wins, losses. Is there almost like an ignorance is bliss side to this group? Because getting 2 top 10 wins in a weekend for the first time in 4 years, when none of them were here 4 years ago, may not weigh as much.
I would say maybe early in the season you could say that, they just don't know any better. But with the schedule we've played and the teams that we've played, this team's worked extremely hard. And that's the stuff you all don't get to see as well. The stuff that they've done in the fall and leading up to the season, it's been on another level. So what I appreciate about them is their work ethic. I appreciate that they demand excellence from each other. And to me, that's the difference. We've said it since day one, this group is a special group, and that's what I would say. This group is just a special group, and they've got a plan, and they've got a journey, and they're working hard to execute. They know how important it is. In order for us to go on this journey, we got to know what needs to happen, and that's to beat top 10 teams. That's to have opportunity to play ranked opponents and not just play with them, but to come out and beat them. And that's just what I feel from this team, is that they know what they want, and they're doing a great job of getting what they want right now.
Katie's played some fantastic defense at the hot corner since swapping positions with Kaylin. How impressed have you been with her improvement on that side of the ball and just her development overall?
I think Katie is we could put her anywhere, and I think she's going to be really, really good. But I love what she's doing. There was a play earlier. Oh my gosh, the games are kind of going together. I think it was Florida State where the ball kind of went in the 5-6 hole. I think it was the last inning actually, and I think she made it look extremely easy, but that was a difficult play. Like, those two needed to communicate, and for her to continue on, pick the ball up, and throw a strike. Like, if there's any hesitation, they're going to be safe there. So I love what she's doing. You can see Katie's really coming into her own offensively, defensively. So what you're seeing from her, that's what we expect from her. She's excellent.
This team for Oregon softball knows what they want, knows what they're going after, and they've been getting it. A big win at the Mary Nutter a few weeks back against a top 10 Tennessee program, now hosting a top 10 Florida State program. 2 games, 2 victories, and 2 stellar pitching performances. A 1-hit complete game shutout in Game 1 for Lindsey Grine. A 2-hit complete game shutout in the second game against Florida State for Elise Sokolsky. Elise Sokolsky is starting to put together a really solid body of work and has a few very strong games in an Oregon uniform. This one, reminiscent to a really stellar performance that she had towards the back end of last season against Stanford. Elise Sokolsky is starting to put together some really, really strong outings in the circle. After the Sunday matchup, she went and talked with the media as well, breaking down what was a really strong weekend for Oregon softball.
I don't know if you're one for comparisons, but how did that one feel compared to Stanford last year? Because they were both 2-hitters.
I was talking to one of the girls about that last time, because I remember on that last hit, it looked similar to the last hit of the Stanford game where Kai caught it, except this time it was the center field. So I was making that connection, but it was a lot of fun. Just a great defensive performance to keep us in it. Really just appreciative of my team.
I felt like at the beginning of your start, you were getting a lot of swings and misses, getting the strikeouts on the off-speed stuff, and then later you were working that to get back to the heater to end it on the strikeouts with the fastball. How do you make those adjustments when you're in game as you're going through the lineup and stuff to make sure you're kind of keeping everyone on their toes at all times?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just keeping them off balance. I know I like to use my changeup a lot, but at some point they're going to start expecting it, so you got to make them keep not expecting it, if that makes sense. So yeah, just kind of changing up formats a little bit throughout the game to keep them on their toes.
What were you feeling today that you weren't feeling yesterday? I mean, energy-wise, because to start the game, the first strikeout, you were full of energy. I mean, it was a marked difference in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a big change for me today was just I was going out there with like we kind of say this like no way mentality, and I really took that to heart today specifically. So just going out there, and I don't know, I was working for my team because I know that they're working for me. So yeah.
Anything else for Elise? There's a player who's one of the returners, but also was here a couple of years ago. So you've seen like last year's group was so senior laden, so they had more history by way of whether they were here in COVID or whatever. Like the accomplishments that you guys are notching, does it help, do you think, that some of you, a lot of the freshmen in particular, like they don't know what they don't know? That like the significance, maybe it's not to say it's lost, but like the gravity of it going into it isn't weighing on them because they haven't been on the other side of it before?
Yeah, I kind of think of like coming in freshman year, it's like a why not mentality, like what do they have to lose? And I think since we do have such a large freshman class, it's kind of helping us upperclassmen take over that sort of mindset too. Just like why not, like what do we have to lose? And so I think it's been awesome having them go out and show out like they are. So
a why not mentality from Elise Sokolsky, talking about the freshman that had the why not mentality. Well, Oregon coming into today was 3-1 at the Jane Sanders Classic. They won against Abilene Christian earlier today. So they are now 4-1 at the Jane Sanders Classic. And in the 3 wins coming into this Monday contest against Abilene Christian, Brazy Rosa, one of the freshmen, had that why not mentality. It wasn't starting for Oregon for most of the season. Then coming into this week, gets the nod behind the dish, and man, was she productive. In the 3 wins for Oregon, the Ducks scored 6 combined runs. Brazy Rosa had 5 of the runs batted in. Yeah, it was a really, really strong weekend for the catcher for Oregon, and they capped it off with a 22-4 victory today against Abilene Christian. Some of the stats from that game: Paige Sinicki went 2 for 3 with 7 runs batted in, hit a grand slam and a double in the ball game. It was the most RBI for a Duck since Ariel Carlson did it in the regional round in 2023, had 7 runs batted in against Arkansas. Kedru Lushar, 3 for 4, had 2 triples and a double, and drove in 5 in the game earlier today against Abilene Christian. Katie Flannery was 3 for 3, scored 4 times, had 4 runs batted in. The Ducks all the way around offensively after they didn't have a stellar offensive output in the second game of the doubleheader against Abilene Christian yesterday. They made up for that today. A 22-4 victory for Oregon softball got them back into the win column after the Ducks lost on Saturday against Oregon State. The Ducks, just 2 losses on the season as now they bridge into Big Ten play, going up to Seattle to face Washington coming up over the weekend. We'll have Missy Lombardi on the show tomorrow breaking down what was a really strong weekend at the Jane. Great fan turnout at the Jane, and previewing what's going to be a Big Ten season moving forward. That'll be with you on the show tomorrow. Oregon baseball just got into Big Ten play. Couldn't have started better against a really strong Trojans team. Oregon won all 3 down in Irvine, California against USC. Breaking down an Oregon baseball Big Ten series sweep when we return on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jan here. Spring is in the air. Time to get back outside with a new Toyota.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Jan here. Spring is in the air. Time to get back outside with a new Toyota.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union inside the Country Financial Studio. Ryan Milano here with you in Eugene. Was down in Irvine, California over the weekend with Oregon baseball for a series sweep over USC. Don't look now, but the Ducks have won 11 consecutive games in a row, headed into the midweek coming up tomorrow and Wednesday against Grand Canyon. The way the Ducks got it done over the weekend against the Trojans, I thought the pitching was really on point for Oregon all weekend long. In Game 1, the Ducks won 7-2 behind Grayson Grinsell and Jason Wrights. Jason Wrights had been a starter for Oregon in the 4-game series, got pushed to the bullpen, and, well, when you can go 5 innings with your starter, probably should have been 0 runs given up by Grayson Grinsell. It was 2 because of some misplays in the outfield. 8 strikeouts for Grayson Grinsell, and then follow that up with 4 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, 5 strikeouts in the 4 frames for Jason Wrights. That's how you have a recipe for a Game 1 win. Grinsell got the win, Wrights got the save, Ducks won 7-2. Mason Neville started off the game with a leadoff home run, and Oregon scored 7 runs all in the first 5 innings against USC's first starting pitcher and then first man out of the bullpen. Ducks were productive through the first 5 innings on Saturday as well. Colin Clark came out, he pitched a solid 4 innings, ran into some trouble in the 5th, gave up 4 runs in the 5th, but Oregon was up 8-0 headed into the bottom of the 5th inning. USC battled back, clawed back, put 2 more on the board in the 7th. It got to 8-6, and it got tight. In the 8th inning, the bases were loaded with 2 outs in the inning, ground ball. Ryan Cooney made a really nice play to make the stop, keep it alive for Oregon. And then in game number 3, Oregon got a 5-3 win. Another gut-wrenching victory, high-leverage innings. Ryan Featherston came in, pitched 2 1/3 in relief, did a really strong job. Waz breaking down his thoughts for Oregon baseball after a Sunday series sweep against USC.
Waz finished the sweep. Never happened against USC on the road before. A great weekend.
Great weekend. Yeah, guys played well. Ryan Featherston was the story of the day today out of the bullpen. Was able to settle things down. He had that bases loaded 2-out situation. He got brought in on the bullpen. Coach Hawk brought him in. Got the first pitch pop up and then finished the game off very cleanly. Really good performance. Late in the game, we were able to tack on a little bit with Maddox Maloney's 2-out, 1-2 count RBI just to center field. That base hit was critical. And then Mason Neville, after a little bit of a tough start to the day, for him to get into one and in the tie ball game break the tie, and for us to take the lead right there with Mason was tremendous. I thought it was a team effort, good team win after Will Stanford gave us a very good start, and it was a good weekend down here in Southern California in front of a lot of our family.
Waz breaking down the weekend for Oregon baseball. Strong series sweep over USC, trying to keep it rolling. We keep the show rolling after we come back on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back here inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon men's golf out on the course for the Ducks today at the Bandon Dunes Championship. Oregon currently in the lead nearing the end of round number 2. Finished with a 7 over round 1. Now currently 6 over in round 2 with 13 over for the tournament. The Ducks currently 4 strokes ahead of Boise State. Grayson Leach at 2 under for Oregon in contention for the individual title. He's sitting currently in second place. Tomorrow on the show, it's Athletic Director Tuesday. Damone Merkerson and friends join us in the Country Financial Studio, and Missy Lombardi will be in as well, breaking down Oregon softball's weekend. Bye, everybody. Go Ducks.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit